You see here, hi guys, video number 2, one after the other in my basement. You can hear the water running over there. Mrs. DC is making a washing up there, so we can hear it. Now, this vid is an answer to Blazer's tag about apartment rentals and, what we would call bad rentals. Now, a few people have answered. If I'm right, there's 1D Rock 37167. I think I got it right. There's the Blue Flamingo and Andy, which is, I think he answered as Fekwig, but he's got different channels. Okay, on to the story. Now, when Mrs. DC and I moved to Europe, we first lived in England, but then we moved to Switzerland, and we went to Geneva. Geneva is a city where there are just simply no free apartments. We arrived, we had luck that we knew somebody who said we could stay a few days in his place. Well, put it quickly, we were 3 weeks looking for an apartment, either sleeping on his floor or every now and then taking a hotel because we couldn't stay in his place all the time. Our luggage, we kept it in the train station and went and changed bags, things like that. Now, the only way finally that we found an apartment is I had to go to an agency and pay to get an apartment. When we got to that apartment, first, it had never been cleaned. Second, there was still 1 or 2 pieces of really cruddy furniture there and full of unpaid bills. The previous occupant left for Africa and left the bills. So much for that. So much for getting a clean apartment. It was like, guys, do you want it? Yes? Yes? You want it? Yes? Pay. We paid. Otherwise, we'd probably be still sleeping on someone's floor. Okay. So, once we got in there, like I said, there was 1 cruddy piece of furniture and nothing. So we wanted to see if we could get some furniture. We're talking about Geneva, and this is in 1986. Well, Mrs. DC went to the Salvation Army, where you can buy furniture there. They have like a depot. And she called me at work. You can hear the furnace going off again. And she called me at work and said, we're in a bit of a problem here. And I said, what? Well, she says, we can't afford the Salvation Army prices. And I thought, what? Well, she says, it seems that in Geneva, rich people come to the Salvation Army and leave their furniture there, and it was just very expensive. Anyway, we managed to find a really little table with some chairs and a mattress that we bought. We bought that one new, though. We didn't want an old mattress, which was on the floor. But then it started. Open the fridge. Well, what was in the fridge? Well, there was a lot of uneaten meat. I don't know if you can call that meat. Cockroaches? Yeah, cockroaches. Loads and loads of cockroaches. Okay. We went down into the basement where there was a communal washing machine. Opened the washing machine. Guess what came out of the washing machine? Yeah, you got it right. Cockroaches. We went over to see where we would put like the garbage for everybody, the garbage bags. Well, I guess that probably at one point in the janitor's lifetime, he maybe emptied out the garbage. But I don't know when that was. There was just like tons and tons of garbage bags. You can imagine the smell. Okay, well, we worked day and night. We fought cockroaches for 2 years. We complained, and basically we're told, you can leave. We've got loads of other people that want this apartment. And I said, well, I put a deposit, and sorry, that was not a deposit. I paid for it and put a deposit. No way. I wanted a phone. I mentioned that in another video once. Wanted a phone? Oh, sure, no problem. 3,000 francs deposit, 2,000 francs deposit, I think it was, which was about $3,000 at the time. No phone. Well, just, the way things were going, I mean, we said, well, just no way. I guess we're going to have to fight the cockroaches. Well, we cleaned everything, and we really, really cleaned everything. But the fact was is that the way the building was, this was like a whole street that was connected together, and there were stores, little grocery stores, bakery stores, and things like that. I don't know if the cockroaches come from there or where they come from, but we just never got out of it. Now, this apartment also had a big draft. It was always, cold, a lot of draft. And of course, you can imagine, in a place like that, we had really great neighbors. We had, I won't mention their nationalities, but the guy on top of us was a wife beater. Yeah, and you can imagine that made a bit of noise and was not a pleasant situation. Always friendly when we met him. Gotta hurry up, 6 minutes. The building in front of us was the fireman. The building to the right side of us was the printing press for the local paper. Now, I said the place was very drafty, so once we walked out and the door closed. Guess where our keys were? Yeah, on the kitchen table or inside. Well, cut the story short, because I see the time's moving on, is that I went to see the fireman, got on my knees and said, please help me. And they pulled out the truck, and luckily our window was open. They pulled out the truck and brought the ladder up to the window. Well, the whole street was in a roar because they thought our apartment was on fire. And of course, when they're all connected together, you can imagine what that would have been. So, I mean, that meant actually that I had to give a gift to the firemen, but it was really worth it. But the firemen, they just kept on making gags with us. Because they found us kind of fun, they would always put this, okay, I'll get flagged for this one, this naked doll, full-size lady doll, in the window. And whenever they saw me walking around, they would start flashing the lights and put the doll in front. Of course, then I just kind of waved to them, and they would wave back, and they'd take it away. So it was just their kind of like boy jokes type of thing. But as I said, we had that wife beater on top, which was actually worse than the cockroaches. And a few times what we did is when those guys the guy was beating his wife, I would wave to the firemen, and they would do this, and I would kind of nod. And I don't know what they did, but usually the phone would ring or something would happen, and things seemed to calm down. Was it really the contact with the firemen? I don't know. Finally at the end, we almost forgot the cockroaches. Although I gotta say this, that when you're sleeping and you wake up and you hear little feet on the ground, you don't really forget them. So yes, we took the mattress off the floor, but you never felt at ease when in the middle of the night, you had to, go to the bathroom. You always wondered, what am I putting my feet on? Bad rentals everywhere, even in Switzerland. That's my first installment of a tag. Maybe I'll bring another one. Our apartment in England at the time was pretty special as well. But this time is really going on. And okay, so Blazer, that's Nick Blazer. That's my answer to this tag. That's it for now. DC signing off. Take care.